Hello, my friends. Welcome to Make With Me Monday. My name is Robyn Smith. Am I even in frame? I can't tell. I don't know. Let me grab my hair thing. Here it is. Hi. Welcome to Make With Me Monday. My name is Robyn Smith. Already said that. Sorry, repeating myself. Today we're going to work on lip balms because last week we worked on lip gloss and I showed you the lip gloss recipe from our new recipe PDF guide thing, Majang. But then I mentioned maybe we do lip balms, so let's do that. Now I thought about doing the layered ones with different colors. I'm just gonna do one plain one, but I am still gonna show you not one plain one, many plain ones, but I am gonna show you some kind of unique new things. Sorry. Also, it is hotter than Satan's balls here in Texas, and my workroom is 77 degrees, even though my AC is set for 61. So my desire to do things is very minimal at the moment. I feel like that's understandable, but I'm just letting you know. My desire to do any kind of work, very low. Very low. ATM at the moment. Okay, so I have my laptop here so I can see what's going on and see if you comment and stuff like that. So, hi. Okay, so I'm gonna put my gloves on. We're gonna get started. So the recipe that I'm using. Why am I so wet and sweat already? Jesus help me. Recipe that I'm gonna use is the one called She's Extra. When I did my heat tests, She's Extra was like they all did well in the heat, the normal heat, and in the front of my car, in the cup holder. But I also put a bunch of them in the back of my car, which faces east. Plus you have that big window. So I put it right there. It got lots of sun. And She's Extra didn't even budge. So if you want the most heat proof lip gloss that has ever existed, I don't know, that might be the hyperbole, I don't know, ever, then that's the one for you. I'm gonna add, okay, so I added have candelilla wax, cocoa butter. This one also has cetyl alcohol, so it's very conditioning for your lips. I love using this one at night, before I go to sleep, and then waking up the next morning and just being it looks so great. But we do also have one that's a sleep mask, so it's not, this one is not bad. I'm just saying it's good for that. And then I'm also going to add, 1%, I might have to do it on my little teeny tiny baby scale. Okay. And I talked about this last week, and I didn't use it, right? This is shea butter that is sweetened with stevia. Now, you can do this with coconut oil, which would be cheaper if you want to, and that would be comparable to these kind, like this one that I got from TKB, although they say to use at 0.1%, and I personally don't feel like that's enough, but that is their suggested usage rate. I just think that that's not enough, but I'm going to use this one that I made on my own some. I'm going to use it at 1% of my formulation, which means I need to take just a little bit out. Okay. I'm going to use it at 1% of my formulation. I think that that adds the perfect amount of sweetness, but we do go into how to do this in the recipe guide. Nectaria said that you had to check your computer for something and you made it just in time. And Denise said hello and Trisha said hi. Hi. Hello, Nectaria. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Denise, and hi, Trisha. Now look, I have this chocolate melter over here. We're gonna use the chocolate melter, but also I'm just gonna pop this in the microwave and get it started, because it's gonna take like 30 minutes if I melt it the slow way. I mean, if you want to do that, you can do that, but I'm just not about that. Okay, so while I'm going with that, I'm going to finish loading up my lip balm tray, which I started and then realized I should leave some for you guys to watch. It's really easy though. This is easier than, like last week y'all said that there are lip gloss trays like this for lip gloss. Yo, I didn't find any. I would love to know. If you find one, send me the link. I would love to see a link for lip gloss. Not lip balm, but lip gloss, you know. And then I'm just going to go in the front and make sure that this is flush with this. So easy, man. So easy. If I was doing the multiple colors, which I have done, and I did that on a Patreon live, I used, no, I didn't use these. I think I used these. Oh, that's the other thing I'm going to show ya. Show ya. Don't you know? Okay, I have some menthol crystals. Yeah, you can add menthol crystals to your lip balm to give it like just a little minty tingle, okay? You can do that. If you want to do that, you can do that. We have that also in the recipe guide, so got lots of stuff in there. Deborah says, hello, finally caught you live. Yay, hello, hi Deborah. And Anne says that they made it to live for the first time too. Oh my gosh, this is like a lot of first times on the live today. I'm just so excited about that. Okay, Nectaria says that they have this melter and it does melt things quickly, but that's also relative because you don't have a microwave. Yeah, for sure. Like, I do think that it melts things quickly, but we're dealing with cocoa butter, we're dealing with panelillo wax. They take a while. Okay, so this is like mostly melted. I'm gonna put it in here to finish it off. Okay, and then I'll talk about, I'll add my liquid oils to it because I didn't have my liquid oils in there. And you know what else I'm gonna add? I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna add some vitamin E oil to this. Amanda and I talked about whether or not we should add vitamin E to every formulation as like, my nose itches, as like an ingredient for you guys to add. And like, we debated on it. We went ahead and said you could add it if you want to. It's a good idea because since this is like an all oil, mostly object thing, okay, the vitamin E oil helps to preserve your oils, helps prevent rancidity. It's not a preservative, right, but it helps to prevent rancidity and stuff like that. So you know, depends on the shelf life of the oils that you pick, and just kind of, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But we kind of included it down in the bottom where we have sweetener and where we have menthol and where we have like those other things that you can use it as an additive, if that makes sense. So I think I'm going to add it to this today because let's add it. But we're going to want to add it during our cool down phase. So I have it here, which means I might forget. But we have it. For my flavor, okay, you can use flavor oils. You can use pre-sweetened flavor oils if you don't want to do this process. You can use unsweetened flavor oils. Sorry, I'm like trying to think of like what was my brain doing. You can use unsweetened flavor oils. You can also use some essential oils. And Amanda actually included in the formulation guide, she included like a list of the essential oils that you would want to consider. I'm going to do lavender. This is going to be a lavender mint lip balm that's sweetened. And I think this is the part that I hate. This is why I like lip gloss more. Just have to get my lip gloss to make me feel better. Oh yeah, look, this is the lip gloss we made last week. Can you see how well it's got a strawberry, a grapefruit? Can you see how well it's suspended? If you find that you have trouble with your suspensions, one of the things you can do, I was actually playing with that this morning. One of the things you can do is you can make your gloss. We'll talk about glosses first. I don't want to wait for that to melt. But you can make your gloss, let it cool down, right? And then once it's cooled down and it has a good suspension, then you could pour this into these. So if you're having problems with your suspensions holding, right, this is another option. The other thing is that you could add just a little bit of that special wax that we have in here, that glycerol stearate and PEG 100 stearate. You could add just a little bit more wax if you find that it's a little bit too liquidy. So like this one I made this morning, you can see it's cooling down and it's starting to be, you know, I would put it in that thing. So anyway, I don't know why I got sidetracked on that. Oh, the fun with these is that you color them and you add glitter and little fruit thingies. And there's just like so much going on with them and they're so fun. And then lip balm, I feel like, in all honesty, it probably shouldn't be colored for the most part. Because I think about myself personally when I'm at the checkout at Walgreens, Walmart, whatever, and I need lip balm for don't have that problem recently, but you know what I'm saying? And I look and they have the uncolored and then they have the colored. Which one do I always get? I always get the uncolored one. Even though I know the colored one won't color my lips. So, plus I also want my boys to use this. My boys. You know, you may have boys that are cool with color, but I won't do that for some reason. Okay. So, when I added my cooled off oils, that is a risky business I'm engaged in, right? When I added my cooled off oils, you can see that the solids solidified a little bit more because I added those room temp oils. So I didn't experience any issues with the lip balms becoming gritty. Even when they have cocoa butter, and even though this sweetener that I made uses shea butter, I personally didn't have any issues with my lip balms going gritty, even after I heat tested them. Even after the ones I heat tested in the back of my car at like 300 degrees Fahrenheit, even those, after they cooled down and were solid again, they weren't gritty. So I didn't experience that. If you do experience that, then you might need to pop them in the fridge, like right after you make them, pop them in the fridge. Or you could always replace the hard butter with something else. Like you could replace, if it says cocoa butter or shea butter, you could replace that with coconut oil. I just personally can't use coconut oil, so I don't. But, you know, it's, you live your, you have complete freedom to do these things. And isn't that exciting? Isn't that why, well, we all start making our own cosmetics for different reasons. So I'm not going to say, isn't that why you started making stuff? Because that's, well, I'm not even on camera, sorry. I'm not going to say, isn't that why you started making stuff, blah, 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 because that's rude and a little judgmental. So I'm not going to say that. But, however, what I will say is that we do all start making our cosmetics for our own reasons. But I bet that freedom to make it cater to your preferences was probably a part of your decision. So I'm sorry that I'm making assumptions about you. Sorry, girl, but I am. So I do want you to know that, like, you have that freedom, you know. especially the liquid oils. I feel like the liquid oils are the easiest ones to swap for something else. Super easy to swap for something else if you want to are the liquid oils. The hard oils and hard butters, I didn't try swapping them, but I also feel that it's probably similar. It's the waxes. So I learned with the emulsified sugar scrub that after that I was like, I am never again just going to say use a wax. Like, if I'm going to say it, I'm going to say the exact specific wax that I'm using, and then hopefully that will reduce the number of variances that occurs between your version and my version. It's not going to be like 100% because waxes or anything is going to have like some variance, right? But hopefully that will help reduce that. So that's why the waxes are very specific. Okay. But if you wanted to substitute those two, girl, you can do that. Just give it a shot, you know what I'm saying? Just give it a shot. Let's see. Oh my gosh, that's not bad. Okay, so I can add my fragrance oil. Or like pretty much already I can add my fragrance oil. So I'm gonna add, oh, thank you, Menthes. Almost forgot about you. I'm not gonna use y'all because you're on the table, but that's fine. So I'm gonna add some menthol. And I'm just gonna stir it until these menthol crystals dissolve. And this is just enough to give it that minty feel. Because my family is addicted to Carmex. Not Carmex, the place where you buy cars. Carmex. The stuff that you put in your lip. That is literally petroleum-based byproduct. Camphor and menthol. They're addicted to that. So, I'm trying to offer this as an alternative. Although I don't know if they're going to go for the lavender. We'll see. When I used to sell soap, 9 times out of 10, if somebody came to my booth looking for lavender soap, it was a dude. So, just saying. That's why I don't really like to do, like when people are like, what's a good boy scent? What's a good man scent for a bath bomb or a soap or something? I just pause when I see that, because would you say, if you were just thinking about it in your own little head, would you say that lavender is a man scent? I wouldn't think so, but lots of dudes like it, which I think just goes to show that fragrances are not like gender specific. Just my opinion. Just being wild out here with this. Okay, so this is sweetened. It has menthol. It has lavender. We're not doing color because, but we are pretty much ready to pour it. And you do want to pour it before it gets like too. Where is this? Oh no, they're all in there. You do want to pour it before it starts to like get really cool, right? Because you want it to be smooth. You want it to go in there super smooth. CJ Wallen said, link for the oil melter. Oh, you know what? I think I probably got that from Michael's or Walmart. It's a Wilton chocolate melter. Or maybe Amazon? I'm not even sure, to be honest. Okay, so you could try to like fill each one, but really you could just also just do this. You could just also do this. It fills them up. Just kind of randomly pouring it on top. It's gonna fill everybody up. I'm gonna have some extra that I shall have to scrape. And we also talk, and that's because like this formulation was for like a specific amount, and then I kind of ignored that amount and filled this up with extra stuff. Oh, forgot it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's got avocado oil. It's got jojoba oil. Those have really long shelf lives. We're good. we're good. Plus cocoa butter, really long shelf life, so we're good. If you're using something like sunflower oil, something like that, sweet almond oil, then definitely add your vitamin E, but this is probably fine for this. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, so we talked about in the recipe, there's actually like a thing there for like how to convert if you don't like having leftover and you want to know exactly how much it it takes to fill these up. There's like different ways to figure that out. So that's also in the thing. So what do you know about that? Okay. We could color this one though. We could just color what's left over and I could just use it for myself, right? The other thing is, hold on, let me find my scrapey. Scrapey, where are you? Oh. I cleaned my scrapey just for this, so I have a clean scrapey. So, okay, it's flooded, right? What you do is you let this cool off. Once it's cool, we scrapey all the extra. And then, if we wanted to, let's pretend this is my heat gun. I was going to go get it, but I don't really need it yet. We use the heat gun and smooth it out. Then you have perfectly smooth lip balms. I personally like the way they look when they have that little divot in the middle. I don't know why. It just feels like lip balm to me. But some people don't want the divot. So if you want the top to be perfectly smooth, this is how you're going to do it. Okay? Nectarina says, did I add the vitamin E oil? Sure didn't. They sure did not. Nope. And then Nectarina says that they got their melter on Amazon. Yeah, it's just like a Wilton chocolate melter. I don't remember. I probably got it a couple years ago on Amazon. It's good. It works. It does the trick. Sorry I keep talking off camera. I'm sorry. I'm like over... I've decided that I'm over it when it comes to trying to figure out what's going on with the live, the cameras, the angles, this thing, why is it this way, why is it that way. Look, that just makes my life like so unhappy, and I just want to be happy, so I'm like not gonna worry about that, like at all. I don't think that this is gonna be, I mean, it's going to take a minute for this to cool down. Oh, we're going to add. Okay, since this is lavender, we're going to pick a Lip Safe purple. Okay? A Lip Safe purple. And I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of purple in there. This will be mine. This will be my personal use one. Because, like, whatever. I actually really like non-traditional colors in my lip balms. I found that that was like a lot of fun for me. Go figure. So I'm just gonna mix this in. You could use like last week I used liquid lip color, and you could use that if you wanted to. But I found that mica works pretty well in the lip balms like this. So it's kind of up to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna add like maybe a little bit extra in there once it heats up again, because it's like it is solidified. But yeah, do you guys have any questions? Nectarina says, stupid delay. You were trying to catch me before I poured. I know. You guys always have my back. It's just like sometimes my back is like doing things, thinking before I do things, you know, doing things before I think. It's like when your children are small and they have like more, like my oldest son started walking when he was 9 months old. So it's like he has more muscle than he has brain at that point. It's very scary. But sometimes I feel like that in the lives. And then Nectarina says that I like non-traditional things and I'm not so shocker. I know. It's like, what? You guys probably never thought that that would be like a thing for me. It's true though, girl. It's true. I know, it's shocking. Speaking of non-traditional. It's still Pride Month. We have this shirt called Bath Bombs Make It Better. So that's really cute. We also have one that says Soap Daddy, which I've been meaning to get and I haven't gotten, and I really should get because it's cute. It says Soap Daddy. It has a rainbow. So if you're interested in more soap or bath bomb related swag, come check us out at our Etsy, and I'll include a link on that. Also, if you're in Patreon, we were supposed to do Sunday soaping last night, but you guys, I met my Uncle Bill for the very first time, which if you don't know why this is important at all, this is my dad's, I'm going to say long lost brother, for lack of a better term, because how do you say this is my dad's brother from his mother that he didn't know he had because she was kept the other kid's secret for 1947, however many years that is? Brother. Uncle. Anyway, I got to meet him. He's so cool. I really liked him. And then my aunt Robyn, yes, my aunt Robyn from my dad's sister from a mother that I didn't know he had because she kept it secret for 1951, however many years that is, aunt, she's coming next month. So I'm meeting all kinds of family for the very first time. This is a very first times kind of month. What? I'm wondering if you guys are like horoscope people, help me out here. What's going on with the stars? I've had a very tumultuous time lately. It's okay. I'm into. Are we back? Are we back? It's not back on my laptop. Or is it back over here? Hold on. Yes, frozen. You guys, my kids aren't even here this week. Also, I am shiny. I hope that I'm not shiny in your things. I am shiny! Because it's hot. That's 75.9. I don't know if, like, it's caught up. Are we unfrozen yet? Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Okay. I didn't know if it was back or not. I was just, like, chit-chatting. It's hot. My desire to do things is very minimal and low these days because it is super hot. Okay, anyway, I was saying about the internet, like, my kids aren't even here right now. Like, literally, my husband and I were super excited last night because we were like, yo, we can walk through the house naked. There are no children here. No children. We can do anything we want. Which basically means we're still doing the same things that we always do. Like, you know, you're like, the kids are gone. We can do the same things we're doing anyway. So it's not like that exciting. But I was hoping that while the childrens were gone, then they're not putting such a burden on my Wi-Fi. But apparently that's foolish of me. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna, do we sit here and keep watching this? I'm sorry. I didn't know this was gonna take quite so long. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I think I underestimated. Anyway, you would do this. Once it's solidified. I guess that's what this is now. Okay. Anyway, you would do this. What I really like to use are my scrapers from Inedible Soaps, which I may or may not have melted. So, don't have those anymore. Anyway, you would do this. You would scrape them. Scrape. Not that where you're spilling it. Okay. Well, or that. Well, okay. Or any of that. Don't do any of that. This is okay. Anyway, look. You'd scrape it once it's cooled off, and you get it's scrapable, right? And then, hold on. I will go get my heat gun because why not? It's already 9,000 degrees in here. Okay. Excuse me, sir. May I borrow you? Come here. Now, I have a diffuser on my heat gun, which means that I can get it very close. without worry that I will melt my tubes or my tray. But essentially, this is what you would do after you scraped it. It's kind of dumb to do it right now because it's not done. But after I scraped it, I would just come through and lightly use my meat gun. And everything will be smooth and perfectly flat. And then I would take them out and then I put the lids on. Which I can't show you. But I guess that's pretty much all for today. Let me see if there's any okay, just people saying that we're back. Okay, all right. Well, I'm sorry that it froze. Once it was done, right, you take it off, you put the lid on, you put a label on it. I personally, oh, this is an early one. Hold on, she's cracked. She's cracked. I personally don't mind the little divot. I personally don't mind that. I like that one. Oh, that's cheese extra. What do you know? I personally don't mind that. If you do mind it, then this is the way to go. Okay. So, if you don't mind it, just pour it in, walk away, come back. You're good. If you do mind it, scrape, pour it in, scrape it when it cools, use a heat gun or a hairdryer, whatever you have, smooth it out, wham bam, thank you ma'am, you're done. That one tastes great. I love that. I don't know how this one tastes. I don't know. I don't know if I have things going on over here. Okay, I didn't know. This is a different story over here. Okay, I'm just gonna let this sit in the heater for a little bit. She's not ready. She's not ready for things. Okay, but that'll be my personal use one. But anyway, if you guys, thank you first off for hanging out with me today. Look, every time. This is disgusting. This is not normal. It's not normal, okay? Hands don't even sweat. Oh, they do. Hands do sweat. Well, I don't know. My hands don't generally sweat. This is disgusting, okay? It's hot. The whole point of that was to say thank you so much for hanging out with me and being patient and being my friends. And if you have questions, you can still ask them. I will see your question. I will respond to it. Like 9 times out of 10. The only time that I don't respond is if you ask a question and I think, oh, let me go look up the answer, and then I go look it up and then I get distracted, then I can't find your comment ever again. So that sometimes does happen, but I try to be pretty good about it. So yeah, if you have questions, you can ask them and I'll respond to you. Otherwise, I'll include links in the description for everything, mostly. Maybe not the chocolate melter, but you know, maybe, I don't know. But that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. You're the best. Other than my Patreons, they're even better. But other than that, you guys are the best. And that's it. Happy making. Boop!